This is a moment in history where appeasement, capitulation should not be tolerated. This is not a moment that is about Republicans versus Democrats. This is a moment about autocrats versus those that are for democracy. We have 10 Democratic senators that we need to call out by their names. Seth, put up the clip. Senator Cortez Masto, Senator Durbin, Fetterman, Gillibrand, Hassan, King, Gary Peters, Schatz, Schumer, and Shaheen. All of these people voted to continue for the CR, for the continuing resolution, which does nothing but enable the complete dismantling of the federal government. And what Americans want to see right now, no matter how they voted, no matter what their party affiliation is, they want to see that you give a damn. And let me tell you, Trump has always behaved this way. Mitch McConnell has always behaved this way. Mike Johnson is behaving this way. And guess where they are? They control all of the levers of power. This is why Democrats lose. This is pathetic. Every single one of these people need to be primaried. And let's hear what Hakeem Jeffries has to say about this.
Has Senator Schumer, in your mind, acquiesced to Trump?
That's a question that is best addressed by the Senate.
That's not going to cut it. That is absolutely not going to cut it. If anybody in MAGA stepped out of line like this, the Speaker of the House would answer it very definitively. For him to punt that and not have moral clarity in this moment, to not take a leadership role for all of us that are crying out for Democrats to give a damn, to show that they care, to show that they care about everything that they've always said they cared about, that is just not going to cut it, Hakeem. And then let me put up this tweet. This is what they voted to do. The CR bill removes Congress's ability to end Trump's tariffs and removes their earmarks and appropriations on the spending, giving it all to Trump and Elon. DOGE and the tariff war are now a bipartisan project. Thanks to those 10 senators, this is now bipartisan. This dismantling of the federal government, these billionaires grabbing money from working class Americans, the Democrats have now signed onto. This is a massive historical moment. This is like Neville Chamberlain and appeasement in World War II. This is a complete stain on American democracy. And we need to all fight together and find grassroots movements to attack these fascists, and every single one of those Democrats, every single one of them needs to have a stain on their record, because now they're going to go out and they're going to play it both ways. And they've shown in this moment that I don't know if it's corporate interests, I don't know what it is, but it's really bad when you have The Onion, which is a satire magazine, that then puts out a very true headline. Chuck Schumer helps pull Democrats back from the brink of courage. Chuck Schumer is now going on a tour for a book about anti-Semitism. And I need somebody to explain to me, like I'm 5, how this man, a Jewish man, goes and votes for this president, who then congratulated Chuck Schumer and said he was proud of Chuck Schumer for voting for him and for voting for his budget. And I need for somebody to explain to me, like I'm 5, that this president has said very anti-Semitic things about Chuck Schumer just 48 hours ago. There are Nazis in this administration. Look no further than Trump's roommate and BFF, Elon Musk, the untreated, unhinged, taxpayer-funded drug addict, doing 2 Sig Heils. And I can't understand the moral duplicity, and I don't ever want to understand it. It is people that are fascist enablers, Nazis enablers against those of us that stand for freedom for everybody. And if that makes me woke, so be it, because I don't want to bully trans people. If that makes me woke, that I think gay people should have the same rights as me, then so be it. Democrats embrace this, but there's always a few shining stars. And these are the people we need to stand behind. We need to platform their online presence. One of them, of course, who always has moral clarity, is AOC. Play the clip.
for Senate Democrats to completely roll over and give up. I think there is a deep sense of outrage and betrayal. Just to see Senate Democrats even consider acquiescing to Elon Musk, I think it is a huge slap in the face.
It is a huge slap in the face. It is a huge slap in the face to every American sitting here watching this smoke and mirrors campaign. Remember, this is not a mandate. Trump won by like 1 percentage point. That's it. And a lot of the people that voted for him already have buyer's remorse. The majority of Americans are against this. The majority of the world hates, I mean, HATES, bold, capitalized, underlined, hates Trump and Musk, except for a few autocrats like Putin, like Xi, like the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, and some Saudis who think that now they're going to get these gold cards and come in here and invest and own America, which, again, I need somebody to explain to me like I'm 5. They want America to be for Americans and for us to control the economy and to receive the benefits of all of this unregulated capitalism, yet they're selling gold cards for Saudis and all of these nefarious players to come in and start gobbling up our economy, thus taking more money away from Americans. And I need for someone to make sense of this for me, but they're never going to be able to, because what this is an oligarch power grab. And for Trump, it doesn't matter if you're an American oligarch, as evidenced by his close relationship with Vladimir Putin and Elon Musk. It doesn't matter if you're a Saudi Arabian oligarch, despite the fact that they funded 9/11, despite the fact that they dismembered Jamal Khashoggi and are massive human rights violators. He can't get over to Saudi Arabia quick enough to collude with them. Here's another Democrat that has had crystal clear moral clarity on this moment in the Democratic capitulation. Congressman Ro Khanna, when the Senate minority leader sells you out, the only option is to take back the party and country with grassroots activists in blue and red districts to stand up for the Constitution and our democracy. And this brings me to the point where you are seeing in these MAGA districts, you are seeing these congressmen go home and they are getting torched, absolutely torched by their constituents. These policies are wildly unpopular. Generally speaking, people enjoy their freedoms. And in order to be in the MAGA cult, you have to do a lot of moral and mental gymnastics. And I believe that that group is unmovable. But I do think that there is a percentage of Trump voters, 10%, 15%, that is movable. But Democrats, they're never going to move for you if you don't have conviction. The reason that Trump had a broad appeal initially is because he called out people in his own party, Lion Ted, Little Marco. And guess what those two sycophants do now? Kiss the ring. And it was that type of stand up, even though it's diabolical, and even though he's a complete lunatic narcissist, all of those things are true. But for the casual news viewer, they say, this guy stands up for stuff. So this Democratic capitulation to Elon Musk and to Doge, it cannot be overstated what a betrayal this is to all Americans in this moment, to all believers and lovers of democracy worldwide. This cannot be overstated. Those 10 Democrats voted with the fascists. And that's just, we have to have clarity about this. We have to have clarity about this moment. We have to have clarity about what Elon Musk did the evening of the inauguration with the 2 Sig Heils. We have to have clarity that they are firing veterans. We have to have clarity and know exactly what we saw when they ambushed Zelensky in the Oval Office at the behest of Vladimir Putin. This is not a time for moral ambiguity. This is not a time to try to get everybody to like me and play pick me politics like those 10 Democrats did. Next up, we have Tim Walz, who is reemerging as a true progressive voice that fights for everybody. And God, how I've missed him. He is doing a tour, a red state tour, kind of like Bernie Sanders is. And this is where the Democrats need to be. They need to be all across America. And everybody remember, Trump was on a perma campaign. He has been since 2016. He did rallies. He went around all of the time. And this is what Democrats need to be doing. Let's hear this clip from Tim Walz.
What people are irritated about. And I would argue that Democratic officials should hear the primal scream that's coming from America is do something, damn it. This is wrong. This is wrong. And independence. And there's nothing conservative about an unelected South African Nepo baby firing people at the VA. And for our Republican neighbors now, all of a sudden, they're like, I wanted my 401k to go down. I wanted this, you know. This idea that you would be okay. Can you imagine if President Barack Obama had brought his unelected African friend to cut? You know what I mean? How they think to cut the government. This is wrong. And your member of Congress is there to be your voice, is there to push back.
I just think this is fantastic. I think this is the way forward. It's not the route that Gavin Newsom is doing, sitting down with Steve Bannon and far-right agitators. This is the way forward. Go directly into these districts. Speak very plain-spokenly. Be funny. He has riz. He is progressive. He fights for everyone. This is the type of voice that we need. Bernie Sanders has been doing this his entire career. And what always amazes me about MAGA, the one person who has fought for them more than they could ever even realize has always been Bernie Sanders. And yet Trump has enabled Bernie as this radical for wanting billionaires to pay taxes. And it just amazes me. It amazes me the forgiveness that MAGA loyalists give Elon Musk, and they don't hold him to account. And this is why I think he's so fragile, because he is only a billionaire because of American taxpayers. He is a parasite to his core, and he wasn't even born here. I don't give a shit about stuff like that, but the MAGA cult does. They care desperately about that. And I want to leave you, let's go to the Ted Cruz tweet, Seth. I want to leave you with this one final tweet. And no matter how depressing all of this is, there are certain things that always remain true in the United States of America. And Ted Cruz will always be pathetic, unlikable, and unfuckable. Let's look at this photograph. Here he is on the grounds of the White House with the red Tesla. And he actually wrote this down. This may be the coolest thing I've ever seen. And that explains so much about Ted Cruz, that is the coolest thing he's ever seen in his life. Please subscribe to our channel. Supporting independent media is now more valuable and important than ever. We are trying to get to 1 million subs, and we'll see you all later.